Hey everyone, welcome to Our Small Footprint. If you are new here, my name is Nyssa and we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia, and we share a whole bunch of different content to do with homesteading, a lot of food preparation because with 8 of us that's the way it goes, as well as I do 6 weekly shopping and I preserve and freeze and prepare and plan my food around that as well. So I share all of that in the process, which people seem to really enjoy, my daily videos where I am sharing exactly what I do each day in the kitchen. So I do a lot of them at the beginning of the 6 weekly span of time, and then they peter out a little bit towards the end of that period, and I share what I do when I do it, and that's what you get. So I do forget to introduce myself a lot, so I thought that it would be a good idea to do it. I also filmed a video this morning about the chickens, the rescue chickens that I got, and realized that I forget that I have people watching who I may not have spoken to before. I definitely treat this community a bit like a group of friends and family and that sort of thing, and that I talk to you so regularly that I don't always introduce myself, I don't always explain things because I think, oh well, they would have seen it in the previous video, and that's a bit silly of me. So I was gonna had some questions about the chickens, so I was just going to clarify that. The chickens that we got were from a place called the Chicken People, and from what I understand, they come from a free-range chicken egg farm. And what happens is that the chickens go through a hard molt at about the 15 to 18 month mark, and when they do that over the winter, the egg laying decreases and they're no longer commercially viable for a farm. So when a chicken molts, you sort of have to up their feed and all that sort of thing, and if you don't up their feed, then they're not going to lay, because the same proteins that they use to make their feathers are the same proteins that are that they need to lay eggs is what they use for their feathers. So if they're trying to make feathers, they don't lay eggs. So farms tend to get rid of them rather than try and feed them better and wait it out. They tend to turn over. So they get rid of the older chickens and they bring in new ones, the next lot of pullets. So when they do that, I'm not sure what else gets done with the hens, but we saw that they were on offer and they were $10 per chicken. Now, we can buy better quality pullets locally for $25 a chicken, and we may get a few of them to go in the other pen. But these chickens are purely for eggs, and at $10 a head for 20 of them, we felt it was worthwhile. We're quite happy to feed them up and coddle them and let them have a really good existence and get what eggs we get out of them. And I've actually already found 2 eggs in this pen, and we've only had them for about 8 hours. So they are laying, just not necessarily as consistently, and some of them are in worse condition than others. Some of them still have most of their feathers and look pretty good. Some are a little sad looking, but we will look after them well and hopefully they will pay us back in the long run. We may get a couple of the higher quality pullets to go in with Fox. So Rainbow is in with the new hens because he's our more mature rooster and less likely to all roosters are pretty brutal, but less likely to be as brutal. Fox, his son, is going into one of the other pens with all the hens that we've already got, which are bred from our own eggs. We've incubated them or hatched them ourselves, and so they're generations from our property. And then we might get a couple of the high quality pullets to go in with him, so that if we're going to incubate eggs or anything like that, we will incubate from Fox's pen because he's the younger rooster and they're the higher quality hens, and the eggs from Rainbow's pen will just purely be for eating, consuming, that sort of thing. They are Isa Browns or brown chickens, which are an egg-laying breed as well. So they should, with 20 of them, we should still be getting plenty of eggs in a day out of it anyway. A lot of people ask, 20 chickens, why would you want that many eggs? But we can use 18 eggs in a Dutch baby pancake, and we can eat one of them in one sitting as a family of 8. So and even if we just had 2 fried eggs each, you're talking 16 eggs. So we go through a lot of eggs, and I do a lot of baking. I use eggs in my mayonnaise, in my cakes, like that lemon curd cake that I make. It takes 4 eggs in the lemon curd and then 2 eggs in the cake as well. So that's 6 eggs just to make a lemon curd cake that is only like a 8-inch square, and we would potentially eat in a day or 2 because there's 8 of us. So we go through a lot of eggs. If we do have surplus, the dogs really enjoy a raw egg in their meal, so it's good for their coats and stuff. So we find ways to use them. I may try water glassing this year if we get a huge glut. And then in winter we do run a little short. We always have eggs, just not necessarily as many as I'd like. So sometimes when we get to winter, I have this tendency to say, well, I'll make this today, but I can't make this because I don't have enough eggs. So in winter we do run a little short. And if I water glass some in summer, then that would mean that I'd have more for baking in winter. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, enough of that. What else? Oh, I'm going to show you we finished I have the hamper for you. So I'm going to put that, but I'll put that at the end. So I recorded that, so I'll show that to you. But what I wanted to do, that would have got awfully close to me then, is show you the nesting boxes. So let me turn you around. All right, so the hens are all enjoying themselves. I need to fill that feeder again. I'd say we'll need to top that feeder up twice a day initially while they're getting their condition back. And I'm probably going to ferment some feed as well for them too, because I think that would be beneficial for them as well. And there's our rooster Rainbow there. Hey girls. All right, so what we did was we finished this nesting space. We will put a false floor in the bottom and put so that they're not on the ground on the bottom there to keep that up out of the rain, but we haven't done that yet. That is the last step. So we're using these milk crates with the sawdust in them so that the milk crates can be pulled out and can all be swept out nice and easily. So these milk crates, there's a piece of wood here, but you can lift them out and then pull them out and clean it. So we have these milk crates in here for that. We will put a back on it so that to stop drafts and weather from coming in the back, but we will probably do it on the outside of the pen. We might just run another piece of metal between the 2 points here. Doesn't like focusing on that. The 2 points that are there, we might run another piece of metal. But for the moment, we've got this. We put a little ramp in, but we'll put some, we need some smaller screws. I collected some sticks up so that I could put them on and we could screw them in to give little stepping bits, but we don't have the right size screws for it yet, so we'll have to do that. But they can walk up it anyway. We did test it, and we got a little bit of overhang of roofing here as well. So where this roof overhangs, they can have some roosting spots and things like that, a little bit extra covered space. So that's what we've done with the nesting boxes. Pretty happy with that. And they all seem to be doing well. So we've already had 2 eggs that I found in here. Hopefully they will start laying in the nesting boxes, because I can see myself walking on eggs when I'm looking around rather than finding them. All right, so before I go to the footage of the hamper, I suppose I should explain it, because I've just gotten up, I've just mentioned that I forget to explain these things. So we get a hamper through, that sun behind me, through A4 Community Care. It is located in Brisbane, and we here have some coordinators in Millmerran who coordinate the ability for us to access it through them. So they get a truck that brings up the amount of hampers that are ordered. So we have to pre-order them 10 days, I think, before they're due, or a week before they're due. And then they calculate how many are required, and they get transported up here in a truck. Sometimes there's some extra bins of produce, which there was some extra bins this month of apples and capsicums and sweet potatoes. Don't know what else. Darryl went, not me, so he's the one who collects it, because I just don't like having to leave the house. Except for my 6-weekly trips, that's about the only time I leave the property. I tend to just not go anywhere anytime else. Darryl goes in to get feed. The rest of the time, I'm here. There's too much to be done. So A4 Community Care. There is a few different places if you're looking for somewhere. I know there's Loaves and Fishes in Toowoomba as well as in Brisbane. And then there's A4 Community Care in Brisbane, and there is Lighthouse, I think is the name of one of the other ones. There's plenty around. So it's worth doing a bit of a Google. The hampers that I get are $50, and you get whatever you get. So it varies month to month what you get in it, how much frozen, how much fresh produce, how much dry goods. It really doesn't matter, but it's always well over the $50 mark, and we always find a way to use it. Sometimes we get some products that we won't personally use, like the last few months we've had these squeezy bottles of condensed milk, and my friend Nicole in Brisbane enjoys those because she's who I hand them on to. We do get the single size food bank meals, like this month I think there was some risotto and something else, and they're not much good to us because we don't have a microwave and there's 8 of us. It's just not something that we would use. But my mother lives alone, and as anyone who's been around knows, she's whose place I stay at when I go to Brisbane to do my 6 weekly shop. So I just take them down to her, and she uses them over the 6 weeks between when I'm gone. She works full time, so it means that she can pull it out and stick it in the microwave and have a meal ready to go. So everything that we get is used in some way, perhaps not consumed by us exactly, but we do try and use it. And all the fresh produce, I definitely try and make sure that it is preserved in some way. So we got plenty of apples this month, and as anyone who's been here knows, I got 180 kilos of apples recently that I canned up. So we don't really need any for the shelf, but we have run out of apple butter barbecue. So instead of using some of my apple butter that I've already got canned, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the fresh apples and make a batch of apple butter, make apple butter barbecue, because they may as well be used. There is a bunch of green apples too, and they are really nice, dehydrated in rings with the coconut and the maple lemon, and the kids have already eaten the last batch that I did of them, so I might do a batch of them as well. Other than that, I'm not sure yet. There's some avocados that I'll have to figure out. If anyone has anything really good to make with avocados to go in the freezer, let me know, because there's a lot of avocados. Darryl has requested some avocado chips, like, the crumbed avocado fried. So I will make some of that, but there's a lot more than we will be able to eat before they go bad. So let me know if you have any ideas for those or anything else that's in the hamper. And here is the hamper that I recorded when we pulled it in. This was a couple of hours ago, but things, the day gets away from me. We had to get the nesting boxes done and stuff. So here is the hamper footage, and then I'll come back and do a quick finish up, and that will be it for today. So here's the hamper. Alrighty, so we got a box of red apples here, some small red apples. We got some of the frozen meals that we get each month. These ones, there's some vegetarian patties. There was a bacon and sweet potato risotto in there as well. Some chicken breasts and some chicken wings, and then a roast chicken here too. I assume that's cooked. Roast whole chicken, I assume that's pre-cooked. And some crumbed fish, and a thing of ham that was in the cold stuff as well, some honey ham. Got a bottle of orange and mango fruit drink and a box of the white choc blondie bites by U Foods. Got a bag of tomatoes there, which I will make up into some stuff. What we don't need, a bag of the mini packs of pretzels, which the kids really enjoy eating. A bag of the penne pasta, some chocolate bars there, some Chiquitos and some Nutella bars, 2 packs of the yogurt, the Yoplait yogurt. So there's, what have we got? There's 12 punnets in there. And then a jar of pasta sauce and some of the garlic aioli, the chili cheese shapes, which we seem to get each month, so I'm guessing that they're not selling very well, and some of the muesli bars varieties, the tortilla pockets that again we seem to get every month, a 1 litre of UHT normal milk. We got 8 loaves of white bread, a couple of cans of, this is a kombucha and a Coke, some more of the plant-based condensed milk, and a couple of cans of soup. We got a pumpkin, 2 different types of pumpkin, and chicken and sweet corn. Some little tins of black beans, cashew and charred corn with zesty salsa, and a little tin of tuna, a squeezy condensed milk, which my friend Nicole, who lives in Brisbane, will be enjoying those. Some packets of the rolled oats, and some more muesli bars, and then a box of Wheat Bix and a box of rice bubbles. We also got these cascara, lemon, myrtle, and pepperberry soft drink bottles. We got 2 boxes of those ones. We got a box of mandarins. These are really nice big mandarins. Some green apples there, and a bag of avocados. And we also got, there was a bag of carrots here that I missed saying anything about. Also got a bag of sweet potatoes and a bag of zucchini. I think I'll have to make some more zucchini butter up since I've got all those zucchini. That would be really nice to have. And that was everything today. All right, so that was the hamper, and as you can see, lots of avocados, apples. There's some really nice looking mandarins in there as well, and zucchini, whole lot of zucchini. So I'm going to make some more zucchini butter. I think I have made it on here before, but if you haven't seen it before, I'm going to be making that because we really like it. It's not shelf stable. It does have to go in the freezer. We make space for things that we really like that have to go in the freezer, but it's really nice as a pasta sauce. It's really nice on pizza as a sauce on the base of a pizza. It's just nice in general. The zucchini butter is really good. So I will make some of that. I might make some zucchini chips too, and some zucchini slices. We haven't had that for a while, probably because we've been low on eggs. So I'll have to see how we go with eggs. But that was it. So thank you very much for joining me again today, and I will see you in the next day or so. Probably not tomorrow because I have to get some typing done tomorrow. So I probably will avoid the kitchen for the day. I'll probably do all admin tomorrow. So it'll probably be the day after before I have the next lot to share with you. I wanted to say thank you very much to Peter and Lois for organising the food hampers. We appreciate you out here. I'm sure all of us who receive them do. And thank you to A4 Community Care in Brisbane for allowing the process to happen, to allowing for Peter and Lois to collect that quantity of them to on sell out here, because most of us wouldn't travel for the food hampers, even to Toowoomba, the loaves and fishes one that's there. By the time you add fuel and everything, unless you were in Toowoomba for something else, it's just not worthwhile. So thank you to all of those who are part of that as well. And thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye guys.